Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another segment of Science with Jan. Today, Jan Martin is going to show us how to use everyday household objects to make fun art and play resources. But before we get to Jan, I wanted to share about a project that we're working on in the South Dakota Discovery Center. And this is our Advocate for Science campaign. Giving Tuesday is normally the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, and we nonprofits ask our communities to help support the work that we're doing. However, we want to give back to you today, and we want to show our funders and our supporters just how much we appreciate them. So to that end, we are asking all of you who have ever benefited in some way from the South Dakota Discovery Center, either through this past month of live streams or even before that through our classes, our programs, or our teacher professional development, or even our exhibit hall, we'd like you to go out and take a science selfie and tag it Advocate for Science. You can share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we'll find it. And we want to bring all of these together to show our funders and our supporters the impact that they are having, particularly through this rather challenging time of pandemic and COVID-19. So thank you in advance for doing that. Today, what Jan is going to be talking about is something you might want to take a science selfie of. I'll be talking with Jennifer Bergen of Virginia tomorrow, and she's going to show us some other cool things you might want to showcase in your science selfie. So with that, I will turn it over to Jan. Good morning, Jan.
Good morning, Anne, and welcome once again to my dining room and my ironing board. It's become quite my favorite little prop. So today we're going to talk about things we can do with the stuff around the house. And that's in honor of Earth Week. Earth Week started yesterday and it goes through the weekend. And so today I'm going to be celebrating some things that you can do with the stuff we all have. And so if you've noticed here, I just have a stack of boxes. These are boxes that had items of various sorts in the house while I was kind of wandering around. I've got a couple of FedEx boxes. I have a shoe box, cereal box, and I just randomly stack them up. Very similar to what you might do with a game of Jenga. So I'm going to challenge myself right now, looking at this very odd stack of boxes, because I mean these boxes aren't all the same size or even all of the same heights. In fact, I've got a spot right here that's leaning. So I'm going to see if very carefully what happens if I pull out that one. Now I just cheated a little and there, boom, didn't work so well, did it? So the challenge is to see if you can come up with a way to stack boxes that aren't all of the same height or length to create yourself a Jenga game. But then, you know, that doesn't last very long. So you do that a few times, and now we're going to take the boxes down. And if you have some large boxes, a really fun thing to do is open them all up and make a slide down your basement stairs or down to your family room. Many of us have that option. It's a little hard for me to do that from the camera angles I have here, so we're not going to do a slide today, but it would be something that would be great fun to do to show off all of your fun stuff. But instead, we're going to talk some more about using other things around the house. So boxes. And now over the last couple of days, I just started saving things that I normally would have either put in the recycling bin or possibly even into the trash, because not everything can be recycled. So I have in front of me, I gotta build this up a little higher so we can all see. I have just a few objects. And lots of things falling over. So the challenge now is to figure out what can I do with a container that had mushrooms. I know not everyone likes mushrooms, but we eat a lot of mushrooms in our house. The dishwasher soap. So this one has lots of possible uses since it has a lid that opens up. Could we make some kind of Chomper Monster out of this? And with help, cut a hole in the back and then maybe put some legs on it using some toilet paper tubes. Or maybe it's going to be a funny Chomper Monster that gets glued to a big styrofoam cup. And then from there, we could take a bamboo skewer or some other kind of long stick and create some arms for our Chomper Monster. Or maybe even make them bigger. And then your task would be to figure out how can you rig something up that makes the monster open and close. And of course, we can be very artistic and paint it or decorate it. But again, think about all the different things you can use a simple container like this, which is empty. They say it's recyclable. Not every recycling place will take some of these things because of the color on them. You could also cover this up with newspaper or something. Or now I'm going to go another direction with the same few items here. I'm going to go and make a tower. And this is going to be, this one, if I were to get some glue, and that might be something you would want help with, and to glue it up, take some glue and keep stacking things that are smaller and smaller till you get to the top. And the toilet paper tube makes a really good topper for these kinds of projects. Oh, and I just discovered something else, so I can make this even taller. And now I can make it, it's got some kind of mouth. And on the top here, from last week, doing the color chromatography with the various colored markers, I've created some hair for my very interesting unknown named critter. So again, be creative, be resourceful, and the whole idea is to have fun using the things that are in the house. Empty cans, empty water. I drink a lot of sparkling water. That's my drink of choice. Some people like to drink Coke or Mountain Dew or other things, but I drink lots of sparkling water. So I decided to see what would happen. I can stick a skewer in to I poked a couple of holes with scissors. Scissors work really well with these kinds of cans, but again, you might want to make sure you have a parent helping you. I don't know what I'm going to do with this now, but it's here. I've got some, I took the tabs off of the I took the tabs off of the top of the cans. And what would happen? Could I make this be a balance? I don't know. Let's find out what happens. What happens if I have one stick way out? Not enough weight to make anything fall over yet. But again, something to play with. Maybe you have some heavier things you could stick on the arms to see if you can make a balance. So far today, I've stuck a lot of skewers into things. Well, now I'm going to change tactics. And I have this can, another can, and when I took the skewer off, I thought this was kind of a funny looking thing, and it's a pink can. So I thought, well, I can make this into a pig. And so here we go again. Now, the trick is to figure out where you might want to poke the holes. And notice how I'm holding the scissors away from me. Safety first whenever we do anything with science. But again, this may be something that you want some help with. Because this isn't the easiest thing to do. Poor pig is already starting to come apart a little bit, get squished in. And then I found some twigs. And we're going to see if I put them in the right spots to maybe make some legs. Yeah, not so good. But again, experimenting with the right kinds of equipment, the right kinds of sticks or twigs or toothpicks to try to make some kind of can creature. The other thing you can do with the can is to cut parts of the can out and make wheels and make one can into a little car. So if I were to cut the ends off of several cans, then I'd have 4 wheels and you could glue it on, and then you could use other parts of the can to make a top, maybe even make it look like a locomotive, make it a train. So now we're going to talk about some other ways you can use household items. So we've used all the odds and ends I found around the house, but something most of us may have sitting around the house is newspaper. And many of us have straws. I don't have any plastic straws, but that's the best way to do this is you take a piece of newspaper and you hold it so you have a little, you start it at the very corner of the newspaper, and you're going to wind the newspaper around and around, holding it really tight because you want to make this tube as tight and as strong as you can. And I'm going to have to lay it down here so I can keep rolling because it gets really hard to do this. And so when you get to the end, you just have the other corner of it, and we tape it. We have this really long log. You make a bunch of these, and you'll find that the ends are very squishy. And so now, can you build something with it? What does it take to take one or more of these straw logs, newspaper straw logs, to make a structure? Can you make a pyramid? Can you make a cube? What does it take to make things stand up? Make it 3-dimensional. And this is a good way to use up a lot of newspaper and a little bit of tape. But when you're done, you will definitely need to wash your hands because the newsprint will get on you. So we've made, so then to put it together, you would bend over a couple of them and you would tape it. And you would get some more because this isn't going to stand for very long, or not at all, unless I had something to help hold it up. But again, make a bunch of logs, straw logs, and see what you can do with those. We attached to this broadcast some links, and for you to go and watch at home. There's a YouTube link as well as a link for National Geographic on building a paper boat. You can build them on a newspaper. I find it's easier to start with a sheet of printer paper because it's a little easier to work with to get started. And it's a very simple process. You fold it in half, put a nice tight edge on it. You fold it in half again. So you've got another nice tight seam. Then you open it back up. And then this is where it gets tricky. You have to fold them in so they meet. You fold it in so that you've got the two corners meeting in the middle. So starting to look a little bit like a hat, because this is also how you can make a paper hat. You fold one edge up, tuck the corners in, fold the other side up, tuck the corners in, and from there, you take the fold that was down the middle and you push it all in. So now you have a square. You fold it. You fold each end up. You fold each end up. Make a really tight, really big seal there. And if you notice, at this point, you can open it up and you can start, it will start to push. And it's not working quite right for me. That's why the video is a very handy thing. The directions do work really well. Last night I made one. Today I can't get it made. Oh, well. That's what happens sometimes. You have to practice sometimes when you're doing things with science. Then, since this is the year of the toilet paper shortage, I figure let's think about what can we do with empty toilet paper tubes and empty paper towel tubes, empty tubes, say from a roll of foil. Think about what you can build with these items. And one of the things you could do using all of these different items is creating a collage. So this is going to be my Mr. Robot collage. I would need to glue some things on here. I could paint a face. The robot needs arms and legs, and what could you stick in here to make it look like hands and feet? But you could glue everything down on a larger piece of cardboard, or you could, this was a piece of cardboard that I used for something else, or you could open up a box, because when we get ready to take our cardboard to recycling, the thing we always do is take the boxes apart. And so I've got a box here that has all kinds of edges. So I'll take the last little bit of the box apart. And we have all of this wonderful folded cardboard. So what else could you do with the cardboard? I mean, you could use it for making your robot collage, but think about how you could refold, remake the cardboard box into something it wasn't. So here, a little sunshade, a little backdrop, a little chair. Could you build a chair out of a piece of cardboard? That's a challenge. See how much of one cardboard box you could use to create something that allows you to repurpose, reuse, and eventually recycle the cardboard. The other, because in taking apart the boxes, some of us like to measure things. Some of us don't even know what a tape measure is. But it's also very interesting to think about how did the engineers who built these boxes, because someone had to design these boxes for a specific product. How did they decide how to build the box, making it as strong as possible without using more cardboard than necessary? Because sometimes when we get packaging, you feel like there's way too much to it, especially when you get something that's in a package that has plastic and cardboard, and it's really hard to take apart. So again, as we think about Earth Day and we think about our footprint on the earth and all of the things we use every day, because I mean, this is just a sample of the things that were sitting around that I didn't put into the trash or my recycle bin this past week. And I did throw a few things out, like some empty takeout trays that were kind of dirty. But these are all the things we have around our house that we can repurpose, especially in this time where we need to think about how we can be more creative, because we're getting tired maybe of doing the same things every day. So this is a good chance for you to use your creativity and make lots of different things with your materials from around the house. Now, the final thing I'm going to talk about are using plastic bags. Yes, we have lots of those. Because right now, I discovered the other day when I went to go grocery shopping, and I took my bags that I always take for grocery shopping so I don't have to use so many plastic bags. I took the bags in, and at Dakota Mart the other day, they said, you can't do that anymore because of the concerns about germs. So, okay, so now I'm getting even more plastic bags. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to cut the bottom off of the plastic bag. Very slowly, takes a minute. So now it's open. Now, if I was really now, this is a little too small for me, but this could, if you were helping around the house, helping cooking or cleaning, and you're not very, you're younger, this could be an apron. But what I'm going to do, what I have been doing with the plastic bags is you could use that as an apron or a paint shirt. But what I'm doing is folding it up, getting it nice and flat, and I'm going to cut strips off of the plastic bag. I'm going to cut them about an inch long an inch wide, and you cut up the whole bag until you get to the handles, and you open it up, and you've got these strips. Well, you could turn them into streamers. You could color on them, but what I'm going to do is make yarn. So you lay one over the other. This is hard to do in the air. So I'm going to take one and slide the other one through, and I've slid it through, and now I've made a knot. And I have some more that I made here, so I'm going to add this one. So now I'm going to have some tan yarn, some tan, and now I'm going to have some white. So I'm going to make a variety of different yarns, and then all I have to do is get out some knitting needles, and I can knit this up. I can make a mat. I can make a floor mat for the kitchen. I could make a bag. So I can turn all of these grocery bags into a reusable shopping bag. So who knows what I might be posting later on Advocate for Science to show you how I used up all of my plastic bags. So there's several links with things on how to do the boats and how to build the robot and some surprises. And we hope to see you sharing with us some of the many different things you could do with boxes and cans and some imagination around your house. Thank you.